Good morning. This is Kelloland on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
A 44-year-old Rapid City man is behind bars in connection with a woman's death. Pedro Cimental was arrested on one count of manslaughter. On November 9th, police were called to the emergency room for a woman who was unconscious with bruising to her head and face. She later died.
An autopsy showed she had suffered significant blunt force trauma to the head. Police did a follow-up interview at the woman's home. That's when Cimental was arrested. The Pennington County Sheriff's Office is investigating a homicide in Rapid Valley. Authorities were called to the 4000 block of Gypsy Lane around 11:30 Monday night for a report of gunshots. Deputies arriving on scene found a man and woman in the yard of a home with gunshot wounds.
Both were taken to the hospital where the woman later died. The man is in critical condition. The Sheriff's Office says the parties involved have been identified and there is no danger to the public. High winds made fighting a field fire difficult for firefighters in southeastern South Dakota earlier this week. The Vermilion Fire EMS Department says it happened just before 9 o'clock Monday night in the area of Timber Road. Firefighters arriving on scene found a rapidly spreading, wind-driven fire. Crews from Vollen, Gayville, and Wakanda were called in to help.
Farmers also helped by disking around the area. The fire was put out just before 10 p.m. Around 20 acres of standing corn and from 50 to 75 acres of harvested area were burned.
And just after midnight this morning, Mitchell Fire reported reports of a fire at the local Perkins restaurant. When Mitchell Fire arrived at the scene, smoke was seen coming from the roof. Several neighboring fire departments responded as well, battling a heavy blaze.
After nearly 2 hours, fire crews managed to contain the flames. The building is completely destroyed. Investigators are looking for the cause of the fire.
Now let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Scott Munt. Another pleasant day out there, Scott.
Oh, and definitely. You know, numbers well above average. Winds not as strong as what we had yesterday. Temperatures easily in the 60s for many of us, maybe even hitting 70 in Phillip, Pine Ridge, and Valentine may have temperatures in the lower 70s. Cold front will try to move across the area tomorrow, and behind it we'll have strong northwest winds as we are looking at temperatures this weekend to be cooler, but still above average. Brian will have more details on your forecast coming up.
Thank you, Scott. A Rapid City hotel accused of racial discrimination is now facing a new lawsuit.
A family from Wisconsin claims they attempted to stay at the Grand Gateway Hotel in August of 2023. Court documents say Jessica White, who is, quote, not a member of a racially protected class, entered the lobby alone. The clerk began the check-in process for the 3 rooms she had reserved. But when her husband, Ryan, came into the hotel, the clerk stopped the check-in and told them there were no rooms available. Ryan is Native American.
When they questioned the decision, the clerk called security. Court papers say the Whites felt threatened and went to a different hotel. Back in March of 2022, the Grand Gateway Hotel created controversy when the owner posted on Facebook the hotel would no longer allow any Native American on property. In the lawsuit, the White family is asking for damages.
There'll be a big fundraiser this Saturday to help the Humboldt couple who lost their son and house in a fiery explosion last month. It happened in the early hours of October 18th.
Hannah Gehring says her dad is now out of the hospital, but her mom is still there, doing much better each day. She says the hardest part is losing her brother and making sense of it all.
It's hard to understand that it had to be him that's gone and that, you know, I have to live the rest of my life without him. And, you know, I only got him for 21 years, and now I'll have to live longer than I had him, which is extremely hard.
Fundraiser for the family is this Saturday from noon till 6 at the Hartford American Legion. And if you watched the COVID-19 briefings in Sioux Falls during the pandemic, you may remember this guy. As a sign language interpreter, Rick Norris delivered important information to the community.
In January, the 54-year-old was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. He had to shut down his interpreting agency earlier this year because of fatigue.
When you stop working, you still have mortgage payments, you still have all the bills that you normally have, and you still have, the commitments that, I feel guilty not being able to support my family because, that was a big part of what motivated me to do what I was doing.
Rick also has no health insurance right now. A GoFundMe has been started for the family. You can donate by clicking the link in this story right here on KELOLAND.com.
And that's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, our weather today, well, we're starting off chilly, but give it a little time and those temperatures rebounding pretty nicely. We'll be at least in the low 60s in Sioux Falls today with a south wind, not too strong, only about 5 to 15. We'll see how those numbers respond across central and western South Dakota, but I would expect a few locations could hit 70 today. Valentine might be on that list. Pine Ridge and Phillip also pretty mild. I expect an increase in the wind tonight, and that'll be enough to prop up those temperatures. So overnight lows will primarily be in the 40s, and then we're going to see a cold front coming in from the northwest. Sioux Falls will lag behind, or at least linger longer in the mild air, so I think we can make it into the 60s one more time. And then that might be it for a while. We'll see if the weekend can muster, sneak something into the 60s one more time. But I would say those days are getting numbered quickly. And obviously, you look at this map by late in the day and into the early evening. We've got cooling going on in northeast South Dakota. And we'll start off Friday morning plenty chilly as well. The pattern ahead, as we get into the weekend, we're going to kind of settle between systems. The first front will wash out, and it'll actually try to moderate a little bit on Saturday and Sunday into the 50s. But this system coming in from the southwest, well, it is going to stack up some moisture. Probably some rain chances here late Sunday or Sunday night into Monday. I would say at this point, we'll continue to watch to see how strong that can be. Certainly, there's a pretty good push of showers and thunderstorms coming out of the Gulf, and then some of that wraps around into Nebraska. Keep in mind the data is still sifting out on the exact jury on how this one's all going to pan out. But sure, we could brew up some snow on the backside of that a little bit as we pick up your wind. A lot of that's going to be before Thanksgiving, and then after Thanksgiving, there'll be another surge of some colder air, probably below normal. I wouldn't necessarily call it frigid air, though, but it's colder, and there could be some talks about snow chances, but we're a little bit early yet to get into all those details. So just keep with us. We'll keep you posted on anything that pops up there in that long-range picture. Those 60s and low 70s today sure feel nice, and we can get one more day of at least 60-degree weather in Sioux Falls on Thursday with the wind, and then we cool it back to 48 on Friday. The weekend's still very nice. That's above normal, mid-50s, and then with the rain and the cloud chances into Monday, we cool the numbers into the 40s. And I do think there's a pretty good chance we're going to get into the 30s for highs. I know the calendar says we should be probably seeing that more often than we've seen lately. Aberdeen, those 50s last through Sunday, but then let's kind of keep that door open to those cooler numbers day 6 and day 7 of the extended forecast. Until then, Pierre looks mild, 65 today, 59 windy tomorrow. Don't forget about all the wind coming into Rapid City tomorrow. 30 to 50, and then temperatures might rebound for the weekend, but then they'll drop with that system by Monday and Tuesday. More details at KELOLAND.com.